up, stranger?
Stressed. Been looking for work.
What you looking for?
2 ounces of hard white.
Bitch.
People are always asking me, Kiki, the books that you write, is that about you? Is that about your life? I used to rob drug dealers. I used to traffic drugs. I was a savage. I used to get it, and I didn't care who I got it from.
I've been looking for you for 2 weeks. Where is my money?
And now I can sit here and show you guys a glimpse of my life before I turned it around.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, Kiki. Think harder, right? Where's my goddamn money at?
Mrs. Santana, you look stunning. What are you wearing? And tell us about this new venture in the fashion industry.
I'm wearing a piece from my own line. It's called Kais, designed by my brilliant partner and friend, Karen Blackwell.
Wow. Look at Adriana Santana. She's hot. I don't see Lewis anywhere, though. I noticed Sheldon Chisholm and his family are here. Not to mention the other half-dozen criminals in here.
Oh, no, you don't. We're here to have fun.
But why are you here alone? Where's your recently acquitted husband, Lewis?
Lewis is back home resting. He has his share of bright lights and cameras. We just want to leave that whole thing behind us.
No work today. We've been here for 5 minutes and you're already profiling people? Come on now.
And what else are you looking to see tonight?
All of my friends and to show off her brilliant work. Everything that you're about to see.
We can't wait for it.
The only reason I invited you is because you're my best friend and we never get to spend time together. Plus, you're killing it in that dress. Here comes Jess. I wanted to introduce you to.
When you done?
Roger that.
Then why do you have it?
She told me to keep it!
I'll be out in a minute. Stop with the lies!
He's a very flashy Haitian with a penchant for violence. There's no one to play with, Haitian.
Where's my goddamn money at?
Sakura is dead.
Play with me again. I'm tired of hearing you talk all the time. Save it. Save it.
She's my friend. She's my friend.
But I will not give up. I will not give in. And I will not get caught. Time to go hunting.
And the winner is Wes Clark. Congratulations.
Yes, she's my mother.
Rock stars. There is nothing like those wild, rebellious party animals. Entry number 60.
When I decided to pursue acting, I never thought it was this difficult after weeks of being homeless, jobless, sleeping on my friends' couches. I'm finally here!
Just take care.
What are you doing?
Yourself. Shh. What's going on?
Tribe, they're
Terry.
coming.
Where have you been? I've been calling you on your cell phone all day.
At work.
Faith wake up, dope sick, fiending for a snip. Left the house, ain't tell her husband she was gone, she just did.
Why is it that you are taking large sums of money out of our account every single day?
While her family's at home, she's out there chasing that high. Roaming up and down the block, she run into this pimp guy. He's conversating with her, asked her if she tryna make cash. Next thing you know, she's in front of the pink house selling the ass. Then she gets dope sick again. She need that boy, so she out there searching again. She's tired of her life. For years she done wrong. Now she wanna do right. She go to rehab to get the help she need, and she tell her family.
I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax. Probably more infamous.
I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh my God, you're such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Chastity, the social media influencer and rockstar killer. Maria, from Miami. And Lucy, aspiring actress. Sydney, hip-hop lover and writer, so I'm told. And my quiet one, Mackenzie. Well, hello, ladies. I'm Bella. I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat? Control. I'm going home.
Don't go.
Attention.
You bring the total package to the table. You just need the right friends.
Are you my friend?
No, but you can be mine.
And power.
I stuck my neck out for you.
Thank you!
And I pulled the strings to get you onto this show.
Take all three away, and he becomes desperate.
So what's with the apples?
Well, it represents knowledge, wisdom, beauty, and power. Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all.
I'm gonna send you the money for the ticket, and I already have your room set up at the Palms.
You do that, babe. Because once you have possession of the apple, no man alive will have power over you.
You make it sound so easy.
Oh, it's not easy.
Brett, look, I'm sorry.
Save it! Save it!
I get no auditions.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
I get no callbacks.
I really need to get upstairs. They stole all my money.
I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Right now, they have a do not disturb until this afternoon. If they call you, great.
How is he gonna call me if he doesn't?
If not, charge it to the game.
Make no mistake, ladies. In order to succeed in this game, you must be willing to play it out till the very end.
This business is all types of savage. What are you doing?
But if you follow my blueprints, I guarantee you will become a millionaire within the next 3 years. Possibly way earlier. So, are you ready to take that step?
Another day, another dollar. Ain't about money, don't you holler. 100 miles and racing, and that money conversation been my only motivation, yeah.
Down in the Delta, the blues is not just music. It's memory, it's power, it's pain. And in Sinners, it's all of that, plus vampires. Ryan Coogler brings a story soaked in blood, faith, and Southern soul, with Michael B. Jordan playing two characters caught between legacy and darkness. This ain't your average horror flick. Nah. It's about culture, control, and the cost of selling your soul. I'm Wes Clark, and today we are going to break down the themes, the performances, and the film Sinners. Let's get into it. Real talk, coming right at you. Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio
I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more, nothing less. What's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 60 minutes or so. Real Talk brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV. IE Network TV. And of course, we're over there on Instagram. Shout out to the Instagram people jumping in the live. Hello. And of course, Facebook, aka Meta, the social network. So what's going on, man? We're back again. It is now the 9th of June. And yeah, man, summer is upon us. It's pretty much here. So let's see what you guys are going to be doing this summer. We got to do another summer blockbuster. We did a summer blockbuster lineup, but we could do like a summer and fall blockbuster. This is going to be looks like it's going to be a pretty good summer for movies. But as of right now, seems like it's calmed down a little bit. The Box Office Mojo were brought to you, the weekend recap brought to you by boxofficemojo.com. For the weekend of June 6th through the 8th. Number 5, Final Destination Bloodlines. Looked like it made a resurgence this week. 6.4 million, bringing the worldwide total to 257 million. Then we have number 4, Karate Kid Legends. Made 8.6 million and is now at 73 million worldwide. We have number 3 on the list is still holding strong, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. 14.8 million over the weekend, which bringing in about 450 million worldwide. It's killing internationally, overseas, almost double of what it's made domestically. We have number 2, From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, 24.5 million. I saw that over last week. But not performing so strong at the moment. It's holding at 50 million worldwide. And number 1, Lilo and Stitch, 32.4 million. I actually saw that too. That was pretty good. Took my daughter to see that. And that is it's now holding strong at $772 million plus. So it is doing its numbers. Lilo and Stitch is a hit. Might be one of the bigger Disney live action hits. I think the first Lion King live action remake did big numbers, but that is your weekend recap brought to you by boxofficemojo.com. Shout out to the chat room, everybody that's in there. Joseph Tanner holding us down as usual. Whoever comes in and out, I'll try my best to catch you. I'm going all over the place. Sometimes I'm not on that chat screen, but I appreciate all of you who come in and say what's up. Drop in, man. Drop a shout out. We'll shout you out over the air. You know what I mean? Shout out who you are, where you from. You know what I mean? If you give us a shout, man. That's what's up. So yeah, this week we are it's kind of a perfect timing because I've been trying to find a week to dive into a little bit of analysis and deep dive into Sinners. Yes, we're still talking about Sinners because it's still the talk of the town. Why? Because it just dropped on digital recently, last week or this week or whatever. And now it's making a resurgence because You got the reactors are starting to watch it now. Other people are looking at. So there would be a good time to do a little more of a deep dive and talk about some of the things that made this movie as good as it did. So we'll talk a little bit of key elements about the film, about Ryan Coogler, of course. He's already a couple things Ryan Coogler has confirmed. Number one, as of right now, he really confirms is that there was never a there's never a sequel in mind, right? He doesn't necessarily know if he wants to turn this into a franchise situation, right? So we're not sure if that's gonna happen, but he has confirmed that. He's also confirmed that other than Sinners stuff, he has confirmed that Denzel Washington is going to be part of Black Panther 3. Um, we all kind of knew that anyway, but because Denzel had spilled the beans, right? But he confirmed it, and he's all good with that. Um, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll go act by act and kind of like give you some some notes on each act. It should be fun. Talk about it, and like I said, man, and why is this film so discussed, right? Like it's been discussed a lot, not just because of the reactors, because they've just gotten to it, right? But this has been a water cooler discussion. I think one show Ralph brought up that there's water cooler moments in the film. One time we was talking about before. I really like that analogy because Ryan Coogler is famous for water cooler moments in his dialogue and in his films. So we'll unpack that a little bit too and get right into it. Once again, shout out to everybody in the chat room and welcome to everyone over on Instagram. We appreciate y'all. So let's dive right in. But before we do that, I need my co-host with me. That's my Jedi Council, and they're here today. Welcome back.
Good. Hey, what's going on?
Good. What's going on? So, like getting right into it. Well, before we get to that, how are you gentlemen doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all right. Back home.
Yeah, I'm all right. You back home? Okay, good. Good to hear that.
Yeah, back home from the hospital.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Sir. That's very good. That's a good thing there. So, just a quick little, act by act breakdown. But like I said, before I get into that, has anybody seen the new Eddie Murphy trailer for his new movie with
Yeah, I saw it today. Keke Palmer,
Pete Davidson, and Keke Palmer. And actually, I'm gonna check it out. It looks interesting. Eddie Murphy. I like how Eddie Murphy now. It seems like, he's trying to. Well, he's always been this way though. He's always been the type of guy to bring in and collaborate with the new faces or the upcoming faces or the new people on the scene. He usually does it with comedians. Well, Pete Davidson is a comedian, so I think he took a liking to Pete once when he went back to
SNL.
Live SNL. Yeah, he did say in an interview that he really likes Pete Davidson's stuff that he's done on SNL and stuff like that. And then of course Keke Palmer, we briefly discussed her. I believe one of y'all we might have mentioned when we were talking about the leading ladies that she might be one or two big roles away from being considered on that road, right?
I think she's there already, but
she ain't there yet to me, but
Nah, she's just about there. She just need that one real good breakout role where she is the center of the entire movie. Yeah. She hasn't really. I mean, honestly, she hasn't really gotten that sense of Killer and the Beast. She hasn't gotten that one role that's really centered around her.
Right.
But
That's centered around her.
right, but
She's
now,
definitely capable for it.
oh yeah, she's definitely capable. She's definitely capable of putting. She does. She puts asses in the seats. She can put them in the seats. You know.
Yeah. So that should be interesting. I definitely want to check this out and see how
when does that come out?
It's a streamer.
I think
It's a
said
streamer
July or
though. It's
August.
something that comes out in July, August, I think.
Oh, okay.
Netflix, I think. Yeah. Or no, Prime. Prime.
Yeah,
I think it's Prime.
I want to check out whatchamacallit too on Netflix. Straw with what's her face. The math ain't mathing.
What? The math ain't math.
What?
Y'all got Kiki Palmer stuck in my head. The math ain't mathing. Come on, man. Y'all know who she is.
No.
The math ain't mathing. Who the hell?
Yeah,
Is that?
the actress, the black actress that said the math ain't mathing.
Well, what'd she say it in?
No, she said it in an interview.
Oh, you talking about Taraji?
Yeah, Taraji. Yeah. God, I don't know how I forgot her name. But she has a movie out that came out Friday.
Tyler Perry movie?
Yeah, the Tyler Perry movie, and I'm already hearing if you've seen one, you've seen them all. This is good deeds, or it's I can do battle by myself. Like come on, Tyler Perry, please, for the love of God, give me something.
No, if you heard that, well, that's not what I heard.
I heard the similar things. I heard Tyler. I mean, Tyler really, in a way, takes advantage of his resources. I heard he shot this movie in like 4 days.
Yeah, he shot it in 4 days.
Crazy. That's insane to shoot a feature in 4 days. I'm not expecting it to be that good. To shoot a feature.
Think about it. If you're shooting the same thing, just different people, how hard is it? You shooting the same movie with different people, but it's the same movie, the same thing, the same storyline.
I said
the same.
One of my
it's even in the same area. It's always in Atlanta. Like, bro, could you take it to New York?
Well, no, he's not gonna be able to do that because he needs to have he needs to do his resources. He has his resources. He's got all his stuff there, right? His studio, his back lot, and all that stuff. I know they had like a bank scene, and that was probably shot in his back lot. But realistically, unless you're shooting like 12 Angry Men, I don't expect the movie to be that great if you shot this feature in 4 days. Unless you're shooting 12 Angry Men or maybe the Blair Witch Project or something like that, where you're just literally in one location the entire time, not changing any locations at all. And with 12 Angry Men, you still have to change setups, but for the most part, it's one lighting setup, stays the same, and you're letting the actors just go at it, right? Other than that, I personally can't. It doesn't surprise me what people are saying about it. The fact that he shot the movie in 4 days. I mean, that's just, to me, that's borderline careless. But he can do it because he's got the resources, right? But
no, I'm not gonna. He does it because nobody's going to question him. Because think about it, he writes, he directs, he produces, right. he does the entire thing all by himself. These are stories that he feels, maybe not so much now, but more in the beginning, were super personal to him because they're snippets of people that he grew up with or snippets of his own childhood. Mm-hmm. So he has his formula, but bro, I'm not. Women in your movies most of them are all the same characters. Some overworked mom, maybe abandoned kid by have a kid by their abandoned
dudes
father.
Are always a-holes or pieces
right. That's got to persevere and struggle and stuff. Very few Tyler Perry movies really, has the black female been someone of significance? Very few. I can think maybe in all the films that he's done, maybe three out of all the movies
No,
he's done.
that TV show, that Netflix series that he had, which is to me is just a movie cut up into episodes. That one, the one that you liked, Ralph, because you liked it too.
Yeah,
Black Beauty or Black whatever that
yeah,
was.
and once again,
Boy,
another
that
right.
shit was good.
It didn't get rolled. It didn't get rolled until, I mean, it was pretty good. But once again, it's a black girl who was kicked out by her family, and she turned to stripping, and she got involved with the wrong person in the
Well, no,
wrong
no, 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 no,
company.
no, 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 no. She didn't turn the stripper. She got kidnapped.
That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. She got kidnapped and got put into. No,
She got
that
sex
ain't true.
trafficked.
No, that wasn't it. She was trying to make some quick money doing it as a drug mule, and
Yeah, and they
drug
ended
mule
up
for the
having
wrong person, and then ended up
person. Yeah,
stripping. But the
yeah.
whole thing is, once again, it's another girl that's beat down, and now she got to do all these things, and some by some way, shape, form, and miracle, you come out of it all nice and clean. How about starting the female off on the pedestal from Jump Street? Let's see that one from Tyler Perry.
You go backwards.
you could even do that one where something happens to where she does lose all her money, or she loses the man, something happens, she goes backwards. But let's just put her on the pedestal and keep her there.
I would be interested in if I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Perry, I would be interested in hearing what's his thought process behind, pushing out all these movies. Like, is there something that he feels, I mean, maybe he just feels like, I have the idea and I just want to get it out there, because like I said, when you have your own playground and resources, which he earned and bought himself, that's boss stuff right there. We all know that. But when you have the resources in the playground to do these things, it's just like, hey, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna push out, because I know when he was on an interview on the movie he did with Kelly Rowland, I think he wrote the movie in like over the weekend, and they didn't shoot it in 4 days, but it didn't take that long. They shot it pretty fast too.
All of his movies are shot in like 10 days, 10 to 20 days.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. Even Spike Lee, when he did Do the Right Thing, he was on the block. It took him longer than 4 days to do the right thing.
But but again, you got to remember his see, this is what nobody really, regardless of how you may feel about him, his process is he works as an independent filmmaker. His process is, okay, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna direct, and then I'm gonna have somebody help me edit.
Wait a minute,
I'm gonna direct the editing.
I hate to say this, and until you might get mad at me, but can that crap that he's an independent filmmaker, because let's be honest for a second. I want to be honest with it, because a lot of the filmmakers that are now mainstream filmmakers began as an independent filmmaker. Spike Lee certainly was an independent filmmaker that got brought along. We can sit there and say, you could even sit there and say Spielberg. George Lucas, Steven Spielberg,
Spielberg, Lucas.
They
were all independent filmmakers.
So my thought, and maybe this is my thought process. My thought process
well, I mean,
is,
when I say
if you thought that way as an independent filmmaker, then when you become a mainstream filmmaker, why is your thought process changing? Is it because now some of the things you don't have to worry about anymore?
All right, let me change that. He's independent of Hollywood. Let's put it like that.
And he really isn't.
But he really is, because he doesn't need
Rob,
he really is. Think about it. He doesn't need their resources. He doesn't need their money. Unless it's a project that he's joint affiliated with. But for the most part, he funds all of his own projects.
Okay, and I can sit there and make the same argument for someone like George Lucas. I can make the same argument for someone like Steven Spielberg. I can make the exact same argument for, right? My question, I just said,
and the same thing that people say about Spielberg. They say by the time he got to the third Star Wars, they was like, "Yo, bros, take your hands off this." Find somebody else to direct.
That's very there you go. See, that's very true. By the time Lucas got last time he got to that third Star Wars, someone said, "Hey, bro, listen, you're putting too much of your own self in it. You're answering to nobody. Maybe you need a little change, right?" Tyler Perry answers to nobody but himself. But if you look at all of his movies and his television shows and his plays, they're all the exact same thing. There's the only movie that's actually different because he didn't write it is for Color Girls. That's it. All the other movies, including Medea, including I Could Do Bad Myself, and the only one that was really good was maybe the hands with Alfre Woodard and Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
That was a good.
Oh my God, yo,
and
that movie.
I give you the one with Idris Elba where he had the three daughters. That was a good movie. You know why? Because Tyler Perry wasn't in the movie. He wasn't in that movie. He's not in Color Girls.
Right.
And he had a small little minuscule part in The Hands That Pray. But what I'm sitting there saying is all his movies and his television shows and his plays all have the kind of same thing. You just interchanging Idris Elba for the guy that's Mr. Brown, and you change him up for the guy that used to be Cockroach on the Cosby Show. They're all the same dudes.
But see, here's what you got to realize, Ralph. The way he makes his films, if you notice, the way he makes his films, the way he makes the way Southern mothers make their food. They don't they if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's gonna keep making.
Well, he's relying on his base
It's
to
not until
support him.
and it's not until his base
truly gets tired of it,
exactly,
and actually show action. He's not gonna change.
When them box office numbers drop, or those streaming numbers drop,
then
that's when he'll make a change.
But by then, I don't know. By then, maybe it could be too late, because let's be honest, the Medea movies were going down until he did the one that was suggested by as a joke, the Boo Medea Halloween. He did that one. That thing was funny. That thing was funny as hell. But that was a joke.
Funny as fuck.
It was.
No, that's cool. Let's table this Tyler Perry stuff because we're going all way out of context with him. But he's got the new joint coming out, so that's what's up. Tyler, he's gonna be Tyler Perry until his base tells him to stop being Tyler Perry.
I'm telling him, please, for the love of God, stop being Tyler Perry. Get because, and I say this, and don't get me wrong, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Tyler Perry. I think he has earned every single accolade he has gotten. He's earned it all. However, bro, give me something different. You even if you want to use Ryan Coogler did a comic movie. No, I'm sorry, Ryan Coogler did a real life story. Picked up an Asian franchise, did a comic movie. Now you give me this horror movie. Where is Tyler Perry's Sinners? Where is Tyler Perry's Do the Right Thing? Where is his Schindler's List? Where is that movie where you can sit there and say, I gotta go see this Tyler Perry movie, and I can talk about what Boo Medea Halloween. Right. Is that really it?
So the perfect segue to that. Speaking of Sinners and Ryan Coogler, and he has tackled a lot of different themes and genres in his short film career, because he really only has 5 films. But he was asked this question on a show that did he think that Sinners was his best work? And he had a great answer. His answer was basically, that's for y'all to decide. Every film, I gave it the best that I could for every film at that moment. And after that, it's up to you. He said, they don't belong to me no more. They are now yours. I've sat with them for the year, 2 years that I've sat with them. Now I turn them over to you, and it's up to you to discuss what is the best film, what film you hate. So let's discuss that very quickly. Um, do you think, without being recent bias, right, or recent memory bias, what film do you think is Ryan Coogler's best film? Do you
All of
think
them.
Sinners is his best film?
All of them. I haven't been disappointed by not one.
No, but
And
which one? If
I'm
you had if you had a choice to watch one or eat a sandwich, which one which one is that?
I'm gonna eat a sandwich because
You're
I,
gonna eat a
I
sandwich over all
yeah,
of them?
yeah, I'm gonna eat a sandwich because I can't pick. They're all good. They're
yeah,
all it's very it's a that's something you really have to sit with, and you like would almost have to watch all 5 films
Uh-huh.
like a test, and
Yeah.
then sit down and pencil like, okay, this is
Hmm.
this in Creed,
Well,
this is this
I'm
in Creed
I'm
2.
I'm gonna go ahead and, since y'all don't want to answer the question, I'm gonna go ahead and answer the question. Um,
well, I didn't answer the question honestly.
hey, okay,
But
are you going to? Or
I'm kind of
oh,
agreeing with Kevin saying that it is kind of hard because
no,
he's giving
they're
you
all
five.
great. Yeah.
He's giving you five, but not that the fact they're all great. He's giving you 5 different types of a movie,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
So I would sit there based on the material. It would be Sinners, right? But if
Hmm.
you're going to
Hmm.
ask me which one do I think he did his best work in, I have to say I think it's Creed because
Okay.
you are jumping into a
Mm.
40-year-old franchise and you re,
Interesting. Yeah.
you reintroduce, not only did you introduce it to a new audience, but you
Hmm.
resurrected Rocky Balboa back, because I mean, like Rocky
Mm.
5 kind of stuff. I did like Rocky Balboa, Rocky 6. I thought it was good, right? But you
Yeah.
kind of resurrected the character
Yeah.
of
You
Rocky.
kind of did. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say that was the most challenging part, especially to a movie, like I said, the movie
And
that
him
was
being so
done
young
40
at the
years
time. It was
and
only his
being so
second his
young.
movie.
When
Well,
when
that's a
when
good
I when I think a
choice.
lot of us sit here and say that the people today don't watch older movies, so there's probably a lot of
Hmm.
people that have never seen Rocky, but they've seen Creed.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay, Black
I'm gonna
Panther.
say okay. I'm gonna say I'll just rank them in a way, loosely rank them. I might agree with Black Panther only because the stakes for that was so high, meaning
Five.
it was so much pressure to bring this character that everyone was waiting for it. They've been talking about making this film for years, for over a decade. They were talking
Wesley
about
Snipes
making
was
this
supposed to
film.
carry the torch, and
Right.
then
It
he
was
got
for
locked up.
Wesley Snipes. So it's just like I'm gonna say that because of the weight that was put on his shoulders for the film, and he was able to deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was able to deliver, and once again, now one thing, Ryan Coogler has so I'll say Black Panther, and then I'm gonna go with Sinners as of right now. Um, just because of the writing and the detail and the subtext. This movie is full of subtext,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that he wasn't able to do as much with the other films. Well, he was with Rocky, I mean with Creed, but the other films being adapted from like comics and stuff like Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Um, although Fruitvale is a great film, but that's low on my list only for the reason that I can't watch that film. It's too it
It's
upsets
Yeah,
triggering.
me. It's too
yeah.
upsetting.
It's like
Yeah,
12 Years a Slave. I can't
yeah,
watch.
yeah. I
I can't
can't
look at 12
watch.
Years a Slave again.
I've watched Fruitvale Station one full time, and then I've watched pockets of it throughout the years. I can't watch it. That's how much of effect, because obviously it's real life. It's a true story, and the way he depicted it, oh my God, it was just so heartbreaking. And he even talked about that, the fact that he wanted to depict the fact that the first thing this man said when he realized he got shot was, "I have a daughter." that hit, and that's that. And Ryan Coogler said that in an interview. He said, "Yo, after seen that, I was like, yo, it actually made me want to have kids." He was like, "Yo," he's like, that's the first thing he thought about when he realized he got shot by the cop. Yo,
Yeah.
you shot me, bro. I got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? So, and he said all of the research material that he went through, pictures, video, this, that, that. He said his daughter was always in it. He said his daughter was always with him. He was like you, Kev. His
Yeah.
daughter was always with him.
My daughter was
Everywhere,
always with me.
everywhere, every time you saw Kev, you saw his daughter with him. Every time. Only sometimes, you didn't bring her to the studio, but sometimes you did.
Yeah.
But it's like, you would come out to my crib, you'd have a,
Have her play with your. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, and that's what he said. He's like, they was close. She was with him all the time. So very cool. So that's the only reason why it's on the low part of the list. And same thing with Wakanda Forever. It's a little triggering. It's a little sad with the whole thing, especially the beginning. I kind of skipped the beginning now because that whole part is just, because of Chadwick. So, but anyway, so the three acts of this act by act breakdown segment here. Act one is kind of like the goes really kind of just talks about the return of the brothers, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
returning from Chicago. It's setting up the juke joint. That all was dedicated to Act One, and there are some the Sinners Blu-ray and the digital Blu-ray of it. When it comes out, it's gonna have some deleted scenes. There's already some floating around. There's a deleted scene with a longer version of everyone making their way to the juke joint, which is very cool. I wish they would have left that in. It was
That in the movie. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So we got that. That's pretty much Act One, right?
No, wait, and the other part of Act One is because I know we want to get through this. The other part of Act One is it's introducing it's simultaneously introducing the some of the characters of the movie.
Right. It's introduced. Yeah, exactly. The characters of the movie, and it's funny because that's another element of the writing that is, very little break in the rules type of deal. Because he doesn't wait until Act Two before he even introduces the antagonist. You know what I'm saying? It's like right at the end of Act One, going into Act Two, he introduces the vampire threat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, like you said, Kev, he's introducing the characters. You're getting to know, and you're getting little bits and pieces of story, of backstory. Right? You get to know that they were in Chicago. You didn't learn until he went and met with the Chows that why they were in Chicago. They were working for Capone. They didn't know that. You didn't know that until you heard it in the dialogue in that
Yeah,
part of
exactly. Yeah,
that
we
part
went to
of
the
the
train
dialogue.
station.
So this movie is set for you. You have to pay attention to this movie. You got to pay attention to the dialogue. You can't be preoccupied and not listening because you will miss stuff. You
Excuse me.
know.
What do I
So
always say? Dialogue is the most important part of a film.
it is. It is. It's the most important part. If you don't listen to it, you will get lost. Um, and like I said, they set up the juke joint. All of that stuff went, the clan guy, blah blah blah. And everyone knows there are some quick not quick, but there's a lot of foreshadowing in that first act. Obviously, they set you right up of
In the
where they're
beginning with
coming
the
in with
church.
Sammie, right, with the church. There's some I saw a behind the scenes with the set designer. If you look at the church, the top of the church, the way the structure was, there was a lot of X's, which was kind of like representing Wakanda Forever, kind of like that was like a homage to Black Panther, Chadwick
Mm-hmm.
Boseman, like that. They did that when they designed the church, right? Um, but yeah, they foreshadowed that in the juke joint. I mean, in the mill before it became a juke joint. You saw that they asked about the floors being washed. A lot of people missed that, or they just didn't realize why they were asking. Um, Once again, that ties into history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of real life
Yeah.
clans people selling land to black people and then coming back and reclaiming that land by either killing them or just running them off of the land forever.
And
Most of the
also
people,
when that the term did you are these floors washed was talked
yeah,
about, because that's why he said the slaves slept upstairs, but for
yeah,
the ones that were killed downstairs
yeah,
on those floors.
yeah. I mean, and you washing these floors up, so it's a lot of foreshadowing there. So that's the pretty much, of course, you get to know the characters, you get to see right in the beginning, um when the twins are passing the cigarette back and forth to each other. You could tell right there, and you don't always catch it on first watch. I might have caught this part on second watch, where you could already see the little ticks between the two of them, right? And we'll get into a little bit more when we talk about performances, but um Smoke needs Stack to roll the cigarette for him because he has
Yeah.
some sort of shake in his hands. You gotta wonder, did that come from war? Did that come from the military, PTSD? Did it happen in
No,
Chicago?
that's something that came from World War II with the mustard
Yeah,
gas. I
yeah,
forgot what it was. I forgot what it's called, but it's something that had to do with that, because a lot of
so
soldiers came back with that, just like how the soldiers
Well,
came back from Nam with the they would either have the shakes, or they would have like how what's his face did in the what was that black robbery movie with Keith with Keith
dead
David,
presidents. Dead
dead
presidents.
president.
their
Yeah, yeah,
president.
yeah. Like how
Yeah, but that
Smokey
would
had the shakes.
Yeah.
but that wouldn't affect smoke because this is still set in the 1920s, so
No,
that's
no, no.
way
That's what I
before
said.
World
No,
War
no,
II
no,
occurred.
no, no, Ralph. You're not listening to me. I said, like, it's similar to the same thing that happened to the soldiers in Vietnam they had a gas that was over there they were using in Vietnam on the Viet Cong that was affecting the soldiers. It affected a lot of the soldiers when they came back home. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why
mustard
Smoke.
gas.
Yeah,
Yeah, must
that's
have got.
why.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised, but that's an interesting thing there. And like I said, so that pretty much them going to the juke kind of rounds out Act One. Act Two kind of introduces the vampire threat. Um, Remick, the antagonist, and of course
that dude was funny.
his people, um, the Choctaw chasing him, which everybody who watched this movie kind of is curious about that. But all of that stuff, if you paid attention from the beginning, it was all laid out in the beginning when they were showing those carvings and stuff like that. The
Yep,
Choctaw was
it sure
there, and
was.
it was all there. The red eyes, that was Remick. Like they had all of the things there in the beginning. This movie, the way it's written, it goes so deep into different themes and symbolisms and things like that. And that'll be the
Yes.
next topic that we'll get
Rest
to.
in peace, great grandma Hewley. The part she's part. She was her mom was Choctaw, father was
Okay,
black.
nice. Wow. And so that cultural exploration metaphors, all of that stuff is in Act Two, right? Um, which leads obviously Act Three. They kind of lean a little more towards. They bring in the once Act Three starts, because you learn about the cultural stuff like hoodoo
Mm-hmm.
and houdon and stuff like that, and of course, always talking about the Christianity. It's almost like hoodoo versus Christianity in a little bit of that too. Not versus, but as opposed to,
Yeah, and
because
that
hoodoo, as
early.
opposed to voodoo, hoodoo has always been more of a
Yeah,
lighter practice. It's not dark magic.
it's not dark magic. It's almost like between white magic and black
Yep.
magic.
Yep.
There's
Right.
there's different, like white magic is more nature more herbalistic. It's more it's more tied to the earth and nature versus where black magic is more tied into, it's more deeply spiritual or
Yeah.
supernatural.
Supernatural spirits and stuff like that, conjuring and things like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
That's the black magic part of
And
it.
the other difference with the Christianity too, compared to now, is like, because the early Christianity was almost beat into us
Yeah, yeah,
earlier
yeah,
on. So
yeah.
it wasn't, it was twisted in a way
It was
to
forced upon us.
to what the to what the what to what the the less melanated wanted us to think,
Yep.
to keep us in line, that
Keep us
that
in
they were
line.
like Jesus was white, when it clearly says in the book his skin was bronze, hair was
Right.
wool.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. And on top of that, they would use the Bible to also kind of dictate things that you're doing. Like you need they'd go to certain parts of the Old Testament and say, like, I forgot what what it was, like
boy, talk
slaves
about it.
obey your
Your
masters and
masters, yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
Use the Bible to try to put that on us because they knew that the only thing that black people and other people of color had was faith, right?
And
So
faith in
they
their, and they didn't, and they had faith in their religion, what they came to these shores with. So,
yeah,
the slave owners really
right.
switched that up. You know
Switch
something that
it
I
up.
noticed that was kind of funny about Sinners too. Outside of seeing old girl that was into, one of the brothers, and the Klansmen in the beginning, and then them at the end with them getting killed. You
Yeah.
really didn't see them, only except for in the town, like only except for in that town scene where they had the stores on either side of the street, which is another thing that was dope that they pointed out of the South. The blacks had their own stores, and how the Chinese,
Yeah, the
how the,
Chinese was, and also when you notice, we're still and this was still in Act Two. You also notice when you got to that town, right? There was, I wish I had a picture to put on the screen, but it's very subtle when they pull into the town where the Chows are. Obviously, you got their store, which, like you just said, is black only and white only, because the Chinese was able. They were the only ones really kind of able to
be in the middle.
serve both. Yeah,
Yeah. So
and
they had a
but
they had
there's
a
also
store on both sides of the street.
on the black side of the town, there was a hot tamales shop, Mexican
Oh, I didn't
tamale
see
shop.
that.
No, I didn't notice
Yeah,
that part.
yeah, that was over there too, which also was on the side of town where the blacks was, right? It's a lot of little things that Ryan Coogler and his team, they
They,
thought of everything.
let me tell you something. With them thinking about that goes to June 19th,
Yeah.
which takes it, no, but it takes it back deeper than that,
hmm
because before slavery was abolished, if
Yeah.
you go all the way back into the I think it was 17, whatever it was, I can't think of it right now, but when they were having the Mexican American War, the
Right.
the whole reason why they were fighting,
Yeah.
because they wanted to keep slavery in Texas, and Texas was a part of Mexico. And
Yeah.
then, so what Texas said was, well, like, well, fuck you, I ain't gonna be a part of Mexico anymore. We're gonna join the United
Yeah.
States. We're gonna be a part of them. And some of the Mexicans started that were in Texas, and
Yeah.
started coming closer in the South. So that's how they ended up in Louisiana, and in Memphis and places like that.
Yeah. Yep. There was Mexican businesses in that town though, because the hot tamales sign that was there, right? And
That's
that
crazy. I did
speaks
not
to,
see that.
yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, we know the movie, there's so much subtext in the movie that tackles bigotry and racism. That's why there's this one um interview that Ryan Coogler does out there, and I'm gonna send it to you guys. It's very go watch it. Where one of the she's like a YouTube reporter, and she was interviewing. She gave him such a good interview. It was so crazy because he had to kind of really. If you notice, Ryan Coogler, not only he has a little bit of like a speech impediment or whatever, but he also thinks very deeply before he speaks because he doesn't want to say nothing that's he's smart to know not to get too political because it could ruin his movie, especially before the movie really came out, right? But in the fact of all of the stuff that's who knows, this one girl is young, she I think she was like a East Asian or West Indian, I forgot, Indian girl, but she was like she asked him, she was like, it almost seems like this is like the first Marxist vampire film. And he was like, oh. And then he's like, he even called over to his wife for help. Because he didn't want to say the wrong thing. And he's like, yo, I'm really enjoying talking to you. And then, because when she said that, he said his response was, you know where I'm from? And she's like, yeah, he's like, I'm from Oakland. He's like, I'm from Oakland, right? And that whole thing with, Marxist vampires, it's like that whole Marxism and stuff like that. Like, you're talking
That comes from the
Marxism.
Black Panthers.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why he had to hit the brakes because he didn't want to get into that. But he was saying to her, she's like, oh, I'm sorry if I'm digging too deep. He said, no, I love the way you think. He's like, you get it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, but he said, I'm enjoying talking to you. We'll just leave it at that. And it was just like he didn't know how to address it because he was very smart and very meticulous on not getting too political when you talk about this movie, even though you could dig deep into this movie and find a lot of political stuff, because that's him. You know what I'm saying?
Because it ties into what's going on now. It's kind of like how Tyler did on that Breakfast Club interview when they asked her, "So are you black?" And she turned around and looked at her girl like, "Handle that, please."
Well, are you? Just saying.
It said, like we said in the beginning, we're not talking about that. Let's move on.
So that's actually very good, but yeah, when you get a chance you can go back and look. It's very quick when he pulls up, right? And like we said in act 3, when everything gets going, you got the climax, you got the hoodoo versus evil, the fact that she practiced the hoodoo is why she knew about the vampires, which she ended up becoming the most important character in the film because she was able to at least tell them how to beat these people, beat these creatures. And so, I mean, it overall, so with the themes and symbolisms that's in it, we've been talking about that too, right? Vampires as a stand-in for white supremacy and cultural theft. Right?
And you know what's so crazy about that part is not only like they brought down the Irish beer and the Italian wine, but also like if you know anything about Southern history and just about the Irish and how they were subjugated by the English, and then when the Irish came here, they had a footing. They had to step up because they were AKA white. Meanwhile, you put your hand on a piece of Xerox paper and your color. So let's change that. But when they came here, they were that's why in England they were actually lower than blacks in Europe. So when they came here and they started immigrating here, they had to step up over a lot of people. They had to step up over the Italians because they came because some of them were slaves of the English that came here. And then once America freed themselves from the tyranny of England, they ended up being, the top, Irish, German. That's the most people that were here, Irish, German, and then the Italians started floating in. After a while. So and that's why even the Irish and the Italian, when they would fight each other in Chicago, it was a big thing. But in New York, the Irish were the Irish were the gunmen. They the ones that carried the heat. You hired them if you wanted somebody assassinated. You
That's
hired
true.
the Irish.
That's oh yeah, they was, man, shoot. Remember that movie Miller's Crossing?
Yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was my first real exposure to Irish mob, was that movie. Miller's
Yeah,
Crossing.
and the two people that hate blacks the most is the Irish and the Italians. They because it was like and the sad part about it is what made it that way is because they told all the once the blacks started getting freed, they started painting the picture that the now all of these Negroes are going to come for your jobs.
Yeah.
And
But
who ran the unions? The Irish and the Italians
the
ran the
Italians.
unions.
Yeah. And the unions. And it's good that you brought that up, because speaking of the Irish and the Italians, okay, so we know that they robbed both sides, right? That was talked
Exactly.
about in the dialogue. They robbed both sides. So if you look at this here, and a lot of people miss this, pay attention, people. This is how Ryan Coogler is a beast when it comes to writing with his subtext. So the fact that they robbed both sides, right? Look at the way Stack and Smoke are dressed. Smoke is wearing kind of like a get up like an Irish gangster would wear, with the hat. Yeah, it's blue. Obviously, the blue and the red is so the audience on the surface can tell the difference between the two. But look how they're dressed. See that there? And look at Stack. He's got the fedora. Look at the suit. It's more of
Suit.
Italian. It's an
Yeah,
Italian
exactly.
suit.
He's so
Italian
clean.
cut.
So
Yeah,
clean.
clean cut.
That thing is tailored. That thing is
Yep,
tailored to his
tailored.
nose hairs.
That
Oh
is
my God. Look at that thing.
tailored down. And his suit is a little bit bigger because the Irish is more bigger suits, so they can carry more guns. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you couldn't see that. So you couldn't see that they was
you
carrying,
couldn't see that he was carrying.
and they had concealed pockets for
Yep.
knives because
Yep.
Italians are
They were
poker
both.
nerve.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
see,
If you look at that, if you look at his suit, right? You look at the material. You see how one it looks more like, let's say, polyester, but the other one looks more like
corduroy almost,
wool,
right?
more
Yeah,
like more. It
wool.
looks more like
Yeah.
a coat.
Yeah, it looks more like a coat. You got the little thing there, and that's what it is. It's a little, and look how
That's
it
because it's
fits him.
tailored.
It fits him. Well, the Irish one, it fits him a little bigger than, like you said, Stack is tailored to the T, right?
Yeah.
And also you notice Stack didn't carry. It didn't seem like he carried a gun inside it, because you be able to see it bulge. He had his gun on his waist. He had his stuff on his waist.
Waist.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? His knife was there and stuff like that. He carried his gun. He probably had a couple of them in
He had a holster.
Yeah, he had a holster in his pocket. No, inside. In under his coat. He had two. He had the holster for two of them. Bring them out like that. So now, with that being said, you have to, based on that in the subtext, it's fair to assume, and of course there's if you look at I don't know why they put it on their Spotify, but they have a Spotify page that has articles, like little articles that says like Irish mob and Italian mob war. Like it's like articles from when they were in Chicago, There's articles from when they were in this town before they left. Where are they in Mississippi?
Yeah.
Before they left Mississippi, it's talking about places that was robbed. That was them. So anyway, it's fair to say that Smoke was
Yeah,
working for
there
the
it is. Hot
Irish,
tamales. It's
right?
right next door.
You know, that's funny. Smoke was working for the Irish mafia, and Stack was working for the Italian mafia.
Oh,
It's obvious, and they played them against each other. And as you know, they, like you said, you just mentioned, Kev, what did they bring back? Irish beer and Italian wine.
wine.
So they basically, and that's what kind of how Mary talked him into letting her go out there, because she's like, what happens when they put two and two together and come looking for y'all? You know what I'm saying? Which is a whole nother movie if we really want to think about it.
A whole nother movie.
They put two and two together and be like, yo, them niggas just robbed us.
Look at this. They even got Rosenthal ice cream. So they even got Jewish people down there in Mississippi. Gave them a spot. always gotta put a spot for them. Don't leave them out. They'll come looking for you.
But notice, all of those people are still considered non-white, right?
White.
You know,
Exactly.
And they're still, so, but yeah, as we saw, the Childs had the store, but you notice that what's her name? Grace, when they did that, the Lisa had to go over to the white side.
To go get mom.
Grace had to walk all the way back over, and you could tell that Grace was kind of like, you could tell Bo was definitely, that's why he worked in the black store, because he had relationships with the blacks.
Exactly.
I'm saying,
exactly.
You could
and
tell
you could
that
tell they
Grace
were good
really
relationships.
didn't. Yeah, Grace really didn't like that, but she rocks with Bo, right? So, that's why she attended to the white store. I tell you, man, that there's so many hidden nuances in this film.
I'll give you one right now. Another one. When he got out the truck and he was going in to talk to the store owner, and he told the little black girl, "Listen, I give you 10 cents." And then he gave her, which was what this is something. If you didn't grow up in a black household, you wouldn't know this. But most black kids, when they grew up in the 70s and the 80s, you got a bank book, or you were taught something. There was always one adult that taught you the lesson of how to keep your money and how to store it. Whether it was your parents or your uncle, there was always somebody that told you, or it was a friend of a family that would tell you, how to deal with your money and how to negotiate. And the way, like before their conversation even started, when he said who she was, you saw how she backed up. She backed up like you
She
know what?
backed up
I don't
quick,
want
she
no
knew,
lieutenant. I don't want no smoke.
right, and that's exactly what he meant when Stack said to him, 7 years ain't long enough to forget about us. Because he's like, oh, what if he's like, just say who you are. Yeah, but so we've been going a little top. No, 7 years ain't long enough to forget about us. You know what I'm saying? So they obviously wreaked some havoc before.
Even when he shot old boy in the butt.
Yeah.
And then he said who he was. He was like, I didn't know it was your truck. Wait a minute.
She's like, no, I told him it was your truck. And he's like, yeah, but I thought she was lying. Yeah. So that's what it's, but like I said, man, and they mentioned it, someone else mentioned it too, but yeah, like the fact that one of them was working for each and then played them against each other was very crazy, kind of very dangerous for sure. And but it was wild how they did it, and so there's a lot of different. I mean, there's so much subtext in here. The whole thing with Mary, she's talking to him. Everyone, big question people ask. Well, why did Mary go out there? Why did Mary go out there? And it's like, well, she was not only not just trying to get into the favor of Stack, but she also was trying to help him because we all know that they love each other, right? She loved him, so she's like, remember, they came up together, so he taught her a lot of the things. Yeah, they were together, so and they grew up together, so he taught her a lot of stuff. That she said,
Her mother nursed them
right?
when
Yeah,
when
he
they
taught her how to
when they were
fight.
babies, because
He
they
taught her how to handle herself. He
yeah.
taught her how to how to slick people out of their money. Like he taught her all of that stuff.
That's why
So
he
that's
gave
why
her that gun when
right,
she went out to
exactly,
talk to them,
because he
because
knew she could do it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
He knew she could do it, but he was just nervous about letting her do it. And that's why she wanted to do it. Also, because she figured out that they're gonna need some money. Because if the Italians or the Irish or both come looking for y'all gonna need to get the hell out of here, and you're gonna need some money. So that's why she went. So it was, it goes back to the theme that all vampires loosely is based on, and that is the heart, the love, the original vampire Dracula is a love story.
Yeah,
In a strange way.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a love story, right? It is what it is, right? And that's why you put a stake through their heart. That's why a stake has to go through their heart, because of the fact that it's built on emotion and love, so, and when you think about it, look at Remick's reason for, or at least the reason he said he wanted to get Sammie. He wanted to commune with his people again. He said in Sammie, your gifts can bring them to me. I'm stuck here. You know what I'm saying? I want to see my people again, and your gifts can bring them to me. See? So that's a theme that's always revolved around the lore of vampires, is they run on their heart, right? So more, I mean, just so much subtext in this film. The writing on it is nothing short of phenomenal, in my opinion. You know, and
and
that's just tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and I really don't get, these people who are out there. It's not many, but it's a few of them that are
Yeah.
out here that are talking sideways, like, like the movies. Like, yeah, every film has its faults. Don't get me
Well,
wrong.
there's no perfect film. There's no.
Yeah.
First of all, the perfect film is subjective. That is a matter of opinion. It's a matter of
Yeah.
perspective, right? There is no
I think the
perfect
perfect
film,
film is
but some
Jaws.
people might.
Jaws is the only perfect film.
Hey, there's a lot of people that might think it's the perfect.
I don't know, man. I might say Inception is a pretty damn perfect movie.
Hey,
it's a mind,
but I can tell you right now, I know for a fact one of my good friends hated that movie. He was like, why he
it makes
hated
no
it?
sense.
Yeah, he said it doesn't make sense. He didn't even hate it for that. He said it's too damn complicated. He said, when I go to see a movie, especially if it's an action or some sort of movie, he's like, I don't want to think. That's what he said.
I
remember that.
guns.
You know
I
what?
just want to see guns
I
and bullets.
remember that conversation, or I remember you telling me that conversation after you had the conversation, and I was like, "What?"
He
I don't
said,
want to
I don't
think.
want to think. I just want to receive. I just want to watch and enjoy. I don't want to think. He said, and that movie makes me think and hurt my head, and I hate it. So, I mean, it's something like that. I'm going to tell you, you just gave me one. He just gave me one. I'm going to give you one. I think The Godfather is the perfect movie. That's just my perspective. You know what I'm saying? For what
I
it was
think it's
trying to
what you know. What
accomplish. I think it was perfect.
I think it's borderline perfect.
Right.
It's hard to see when I start saying the movie is perfect. It's when you start to say, I can't find too many faults with it.
Right.
When you start saying, I don't really see too many faults in it. Where the director not only, especially period piece, where the director still took in the fact that you make a movie set back in 30, 40 years from when you did the movie, and you take into accountability what was going on, the time spirit, or there's very few faults I've found. I've seen The Godfather many times. I haven't really found that many faults within The Godfather.
Listen, Wes, you know how I feel about The Godfather. It's my and I actually went when it had its anniversary. I went to the movies. I was like, you know what? Let me shut my black butt up and let me go sit down and really watch this film. And I went to sleep again. The Godfather is The Godfather. And listen, I went to sleep on Sinners.
The first complaint that most people will say is that it's too long. People will say it's too long. That's the first complaint. The first thing you'll get if you got someone that's gonna say poke holes in The Godfather, the first thing a person might say is it's too long, right? I don't think that, but some people
I don't either. It just makes me. I just get so the movie is set in. I love that time period. I love that time period, and there's everything about the way people dressed. Everybody always had on suits, and I just feel. It's like when I used to we used to go on summer vacation down to Memphis or Georgia to my grandmother's house or to my great grandmother's house. When I got there, it was like I was on vacation, and when my cousins in Georgia would be like, "Come on, it's time to go to work," I'd be like, "What you talking about? It's time to go to work." We'd be out there in the fields picking beans and watermelons, and I'm like, "I'm on vacation," and
they're like shit. Ain't no vacation. Vacation. The hell you talking about? Well, Heaven Hollywood checked in and said The Usual Suspects for him was a perfect film, perfect setup.
Yeah, that's another one. Yep,
that's another one.
That's I can't really argue that. It had the perfect setup. It had great performances.
Great performances. It had
great performances.
Exceptional.
Exceptional performances.
I didn't see the ending, which I did not even see coming. I did not see that one coming.
Almost nobody saw it coming, and it had a great. So you also add in a perfect twist. The twist to it was so unexpected. It was perfect. That could be a perfect movie. It could be. You can't really poke holes in that.
And here's the thing: I've never heard anybody say anything wrong about The Usual Suspect.
I've never heard anybody say. I've heard people. Now, what I have heard when people watch it, they said, "Wait a minute, did I miss something? Did I really miss something in there that said that he was the guy that they're looking for?" And I'm like, nah. There is no clue in there that kind of gave you the idea that he's the person that kills everybody. Like nobody.
Like he's literally reading something off a cork board behind the lead agent.
It was so cleverly written. Whatever. I think also speaking of Kobayashi, yep. Speaking of great twists. Like I said, I don't know if it was perfect, but I can't think of any. As much as I have a love-hate relationship with M. Night Shyamalan, I can't think of much that I can poke holes in The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one.
Where
it was like wait. It was like wait a minute. It was like wait a minute. Wait, he's dead. He's dead.
Listen, that one and the last one that he did with the guy in the stadium, with the serial killer in the stadium.
Well, I mean, I can find a few holes in that, but I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean like tight?
Yeah. This film was so, and the twist once again was one of those perfect endings. If it makes you want to go back and rewind it and watch again, or go back in the movie and watch it again
Watch it
just
again.
because of the ending,
Mhm.
then you know they did something special.
Yeah.
And I only felt that way, honestly, with two movies, and that was that movie and The Usual Suspects. That made me want to go back and say, "Oh, nah." I went back, and rewatch the ending and see, oh man, all of that stuff he made up. So
I mean,
I
one.
did,
I'm gonna say one more before we head out.
Yep.
Um, Pacific Heights is another one that I can't like. I hate. I hate. Listen, I literally hated Michael Keaton after that movie. I was just like,
That means
you're
he did a great job, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that means he
Listen.
did a great job.
That
Yeah,
means
I'm
he did a
Batman,
great
but this
job.
time I'm terrorizing your ass.
Yeah.
Oh God, man. Oh,
Yeah.
took them people's perfect house and just destroyed it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and then letting him get away with it. I'm like, oh, because there's
Well,
nothing they can do.
they were just crazy though. They were just
Yeah,
they didn't know what to do with that guy.
Well, they
That's
couldn't
really
because
what it
he knew the
was.
laws. He literally knew the civic laws of San Francisco and how they couldn't evict them. So
Yeah.
there was nothing they could do except for get gangster and grab a nail gun.
Well, with all that being said, with this film, man, I employ anybody to take an opportunity if you haven't seen Sinners yet. It's on digital now. I really wouldn't, if I was you, I wouldn't rob myself of the opportunity to watch it in the theater. But if you don't want to do that, it is on Prime, and it's on
It's
digital now.
all the streaming to
Yeah,
buy,
it's on
and
streaming to buy.
I'm going to tell you why I agree with Wes. Here's why. For the main reason, if you're a device watcher, particularly a phone or a tablet, you must see this movie in a film, or you have to watch it at night with the
Yeah,
lights out because because it was shot with such low lighting in
Mhm.
certain scenes that
Mhm.
the reflections in the room are going to interrupt the experience. I've been in the hospital for 6 days, and I watched this movie 3 times, and all 3 times I was just like I had to wait. And well, the first time I watched it, then the other 2 times I had to wait, pull down the shade in the room. That didn't work. And the third time I had to just wait till nighttime to watch. It was the day that I spoke to you on the phone, Wes, that I
Yeah.
watched it again right after I got off the phone with you.
Mm.
So yeah, don't rob yourself of the movie experience. And if you can see it in IMAX, go see it in IMAX, man. Spend the
I think
extra
that
money.
might be over.
Stop being
I think
cheap.
that might be over now. You got too many big things rolling
It's
out.
supposed to be coming back. It's coming back, but it's probably gonna wait till the big things clear IMAX, because we got, I think Fantastic Four is gonna come in IMAX.
Superman F1.
Superman is in
I think it's too late
IMAX.
for the
F1.
IMAX.
Yeah, and it's probably too late right now, but it is. They do have plans to bring it back to IMAX, and certain IMAX it may still screen at, but or it might do it certain times, stuff like that.
You know what I hate about IMAX though? The only thing I hate about IMAX is that we have a big IMAX dome right over there in Uniondale, right by Nassau Community College. We got a big old IMAX dome that I saw Transformers 2 in, which was incredible. I don't care what
Right.
nobody says. You had to see
Right.
that movie in IMAX to enjoy it. And every time an IMAX movie comes out, it never plays there. It plays at all the other
Yeah.
places that have IMAX, but the
Yeah.
true IMAX experience is IMAX Dome. That's the
Well,
true
I
IMAX
mean,
experience.
I
I
guess
think
it
it's
all depends.
overkill. It's overkill.
Yeah,
I
I
long
didn't like the dome because you got to kind of really like sit back and almost look up if you're too close. You get almost like you're like
Yeah,
tilted up a little bit.
yeah, it's
It's a little
overkill.
jarring. It's a little, for me, for a lot of people, but it's, the true IMAX also is to go to that one that's in California that has the big screen. But yeah, man. So anyway,
Well, you know,
everybody drop
they got
your comments and let us know what you think about Sinners. If what you thought about it. Was it is Sinners, in your opinion, towing the line of the perfect film? You know, we just sat and explained to you what we thought are elements of it being a of any film being a borderline perfect film, right? If it's something that you find yourself watching over and over again, if it's something that if it comes on and you know it's on, you go watch it again, or you go back and it's maybe something that you might consider it to be that. Can you poke holes in the film left and right? I really can't. I can't poke a lot of holes in this film. I've already watched it. Real, to be honest with y'all, I done watched this film like 6 times already. And it's like I keep learning other things as I go deeper. So you guys drop comments, let us know what you think about it. And we'll be back, of course, next week with what we do. We do what we do. We appreciate y'all out there in the chat rooms. We appreciate y'all over there on Instagram and, of course, over there on the social network.
And like and share, y'all. Listen, we
Like
need
and
to get our
share,
numbers
man.
up.
Share this with your friends. Like and share. Comment. Of course, subscribe to the IE Network if you haven't already. Shame on you. And we'll catch y'all next week. And as we always say, you can like us, you can love us, but don't ever forget about us. Peace out.
Don't you forget about me.